Let me tell you why the problem of AI hallucinations will never be solved and why the framing of the problem itself is a marketing stunt by these companies. But first you need to understand the technology behind all these AI models like ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever. And that is artificial neural networks, commonly known as neural networks. This technology has been around for decades and is being used in many fields around the world. For example, when your phone does facial recognition, it is using a neural network. The new models that allow you to generate video, audio, text are using a more specific version of the technology called transformers. You can look that up if you want, but the underlying technology hasn't changed. And unlike traditional algorithms where the programmers are coding every single rule that should apply in the thinking process, neural networks don't work this way. You just train them, you give them data, and they give you an output, and you tell them this is a good output, this is a bad output. Which means that we treat these models as black boxes. We don't know what's actually happening underneath. Yes, we know the theory, and the theory is basically calculus. There's a lot of matrix multiplication, and when it comes to, for example, these new models, we're talking about matrix multiplications on like trillions of dimensions. So it is something that the human mind cannot actually comprehend. But we cannot really explain. So for example, if a judge asks you, why did we get this output when you gave it this prompt, you cannot really explain it because we're talking about like millions of calculations and equations. So we treat them as a black box. This is the crucial part. All these models are, no matter how sophisticated they may seem, they are simply statistical, probabilistic machines. What does this mean? When you type a word on your phone and you press space, your phone keyboard will show you a list of suggestions of what you could type next. And it shows you this because of the statistical probability that a word appears next to another. ChatGPT is basically autocomplete on steroids that speed running climate change. Yes, the technology is more sophisticated, but the underlying fundamentals are the same. ChatGPT does not know what's true, what's false, what's a fact, what's a lie, because it has no cognition. It is not capable of knowing things. The technology is not made for this. It just regurgitates things based on patterns that it has seen before. This is why the creation of the term hallucinations in itself is a marketing stunt. Because first, it humanizes the AI, and the tech CEOs love this. Second, it creates this idea that the AI has a normal mode of functioning where it knows what's right and wrong, and that these hallucinations are simply exceptions to the rule in which we don't know what's happening. We don't know why, but we're gonna fix it. But the whole system is a giant hallucination machine. The problem is unsolvable because the technology has been pushed to do something it was not meant for. The AI CEOs know this, and this is why they're so desperately trying to create even bigger models that require more data, that require more graphics card, more power, more water. There's too much money at stake, and this is why they're forcing AI into every aspect of your life. Fun fact, around 50 and 60 years ago, scientists were actually trying to create artificial intelligence that was based on rules of logic, databases of facts, and they called these systems expert systems. There were even logic programming languages, which are not common anymore. There might still be some systems like this left, but the whole technology fell out of fashion because it's actually pretty hard to build one of these systems. Turns out that trying to recreate human-level intelligence is actually pretty damn hard.